April 1991, and there are celebrations at Kirkwall Airport as the children at the centre of the storm are returned to Orkney. 5 weeks earlier, in dawn raids by social workers and police, they'd been removed from their 4 separate families amid allegations of ritual abuse on the island of South Ronaldsay.
It's proved us right in the end. The children are home, they're with their parents where they should be.
At least we got them home, we can start rebuilding them as people, and hopefully a public inquiry now can just sort out the system.
The public inquiry did happen. Lord Clyde made almost 200 recommendations.
Some of the things that have changed have been that we are much better at listening to children, and by that I mean listening to them better.
The rights of children and parents have always stirred strong emotions. Children First declined an interview now, as did the Children's Commissioner for Scotland and the Children's Minister with the Scottish Government. Orkney remains a difficult issue.
The myths that grew up around it had a hugely intimidating effect on child protection staff, so that even in the rare cases when children need to be taken into care, it's become much more difficult. So I think it had a very intimidating effect on child protection professionals, which even 30 years later, they haven't been able to find the courage to stand up and say we need to change now.
You have made innocent children and families suffer.
Campaigners stormed the social work offices in Orkney after a sheriff threw out the case and ordered the children home. One of them spoke of their experience.
They kept asking me the same questions a lot of times and they didn't believe what I was saying.
The allegations were never tested in court. Much has changed since then. The outcome of a care review last year promised better from the care system. Scotland is set to become the first country in the UK to incorporate United Nations children's rights into domestic law. And child protection is now a specialisation in social work.
We have an infrastructure that has been built up to try to ensure that none of those deficits of process and systems can happen again. And there's a much more sophisticated approach. It's much better known across the key agencies, across police and education and health, as well as social work.
On Orkney last year, the Care Inspectorate identified major weaknesses in child protection and care. Today, the island's council said many lessons had been learned since 1991, and child protection processes now are very different to those 30 years ago. After all this time, none of the families involved wanted to speak on camera, but they did say they hope their experience will never be repeated. Colin White, STV News.